week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
Welcome to The Voice Party.
Oh, wrong angle. There it is.
Hey! Yay! With JD and...
That's not your name.
I'm not JD. I'm Natalie.
I'm not JD. I am JD. That's Natalie.
I'm not JD. I'm JX.
Ooh!
And that's still Natalie, by the way. That hasn't changed.
I'm still Natalie.
And that's definitely Phil.
Oh, yeah. No mistake in that.
He's going fishing, but he can't wait. So you have to get the hat on. All right.
Look, I told you the story behind the hat, okay?
Tell it again.
I mean, it's hot as hell,
You didn't
right?
say it on the show.
Oh, I didn't say it on the show.
No.
So basically, what happened was, my fiance is like, I don't like you bald. You look like a racist. And I'm like, I don't look like a racist. I look like Goldberg, Bill Gold, still Steve Austin, Howie Mandel, John Travolta. There's plenty of sexy bald people in the
Homer
world.
Simpson. Homer Simpson.
Yeah, you know, but
Semi-bald.
she wants me to grow my hair back, and
The Gerber baby.
and I don't want a fucking argument, so whatever will shut her the fuck up. But I don't like my hairline, so that's where the hat's coming from.
So that's what we're
the
doing now.
price
Patrick
we pay
Stewart.
for fucking silence. Am I right, gentlemen? Am I right? You know. You see, you know what I'm talking about. The price we pay for silence.
Jesus Christ. How are things,
Your
Phil?
fiance watches the show, right?
No, she don't. That's why she don't watch shit.
Oh, okay.
She don't watch nothing.
I'm going to send her the link.
She's still not going to watch it.
I know.
Every time you leave the house to come here, she puts a microphone on you.
It's one of those rare times where you're glad that your significant other isn't that supportive.
You know what? I always talk about him because I'm a big fan. But the Deftones lead singer, he would write love songs, like kind of like add some lovey-dovey shit to the songs, because he wanted his wife to listen to it. His wife never wanted to listen to the music.
Oh,
I mean, if he can't get his wife at that level to listen to his music, I don't think I'll ever be able to kill her.
Well,
I don't think Teresa's gonna listen.
Her whole thing is like she looks at our shit and she's like, an hour? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. If only she's doing it within the first 10 minutes. Oh.
she's like, I live with Phil
I
at
should have done
home.
that spiel 45 minutes in. That's where I fucked up.
You fucked up, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about how women are the goddamn devil. And the only happy man is a single man.
We really hope she don't listen to this
We
shit.
really hope you don't listen to this.
A single man is a happy man, gentlemen. Yeah, sex is great and all, but you know what's really great? Coming home to peace and fucking quiet, being able to do whatever you want without getting bitched at. Am I right? Am I right?
Okay, I switched from rooster spirit animal to
What?
what?
Oh, wait, say that again?
Because you were like, you said I sounded like a
didn't
rooster.
I didn't hear what you said. What did you
I'm
say?
switching my spirit animal from a rooster to. I like that attitude.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, Natalie, what is wrong with women? Why are y'all so crazy?
Where should
Why are
we
you
start?
never happy? Why is it no matter what I do, you're never satisfied? There's always something to bitch and moan and complain about. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I did this, but not the way you wanted me to do it. It's never enough.
Well, she's not dating you,
I
Phil.
think
so that's gonna
the
be difficult for
issue
her to
might
answer.
be you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
God damn, right in my black heart.
I gotta go use the bathroom, guys. Phil. Let's circle back. Let's circle back to the root of the problem. What? When you were single, you didn't think this way. Now look at you.
Yeah, I was fucking happy back then.
Yeah. We have an objection.
He has some tea.
Your
to
Honor.
spill.
No.
I object.
You know, I would say this much: the grass.
That's too much stuttering.
The grass is. Blow me down. Look, there's there's the grass is always greener on the other side. That's what I would say.
Water your shit, bro.
This all started from your hat. I just asked about your hat, and she doesn't like you bald.
She doesn't like me bald
Get a
because she thinks I
toupee.
look like a racist.
Get a toupee.
She's like, oh, you look like a skinhead.
Get a toupee, take it off when you go.
Get
out
it
the house.
tattooed.
Get a toupee, you take it off when you leave the house.
What you do is you get a Like some sort of a 3D illusion tattoo that makes it look like you have really short hair?
Yeah, you get a wig like Damian Montes.
They do it.
It's just me. I have a wig with me now. I can let you borrow it.
Do you carry a wig on you?
I do.
What?
Oh my God.
For what?
Remember the wig I have? The Kurt Cobain wig?
You have it with you?
I don't have it. Well, I can have it with me. I think it might be in my car. Not the car I have now, but
I think it's a good color.
it's a good color for you.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
look like Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin, before he was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
So I got to settle for being stunning, Steve?
Yeah,
Yes.
Stunning Steve. You'd be stunning Phil. Your hair looks fine, by the way. I think.
I never even looked at it ever, so.
It's not a pretty sight.
You don't look.
I used to be gorgeous. Back in high school, I had a ponytail, all this long, gorgeous rock star hair. I was fucking sexy.
He
back
was
in the day.
Triple H. He was Chris Jericho. He
yeah.
had metal hair back in the day.
He did look like a metalhead back in the day.
What'd you listen to?
What's that?
What'd you listen to?
Hip hop.
Hell,
I thought that was you were a hip hop head.
no, I've never been a hip hop head.
He used to listen to some stuff like Eminem.
Yeah, some
like,
stuff. But I've always been a rock guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So, like,
it's like crazy because like racist people wear those hats too.
And he listens to
You know
pop
who else
as
wears
well.
this hat? Stepfathers on the beach, okay? Don't just be lumping me into these groups willy-nilly.
at least it's not khaki colored.
No, it's because but the thing is, you said that the baldness made you look racist, but racist people look like me. Right?
Racist people look like everyone. Because everyone can be a racist.
But like
sometimes.
a racist white guy. There's a racist white guy that wear those hats. So I was like, that's not a good.
Speaking of fucking white people, like, I don't know if we have so many group chats I can't keep track of which one I'm spewing my nonsense in.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Me and the fiance have been binge watching Undercover Boss. Have you ever seen that show?
I don't watch
Billionaire
TV.
CEO.
You don't watch TV?
No.
Okay.
Basically, a billionaire CEO of a company goes undercover and does manual labor for a week, and it fucking breaks him. Right?
And he's thankful that he has people to do that shit for him.
There are so many fucking white people on that show. Who knew there were so many white billionaire CEOs?
I probably
Like,
could have guessed.
We just finished season 2. We finally saw a chick.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
It took till season 2 before we saw a chick. She looked it up. Apparently in season 8, we're going to get a black dude. So when we get there, I'll keep you guys updated. But it's a
Gotcha.
lot of crackers
Live
on that
tweet.
show.
A lot of crap. You know, it reminds me of this King of the Hill meme. It's like the kid, Bobby, talking to a Native American. And I think it's from an episode where it says, "Are you sure white people did this? Because this is the first I've heard of this."
God bless Bobby.
God bless him. Yeah. No, are you okay? It's our things, man. Like, something's definitely wrong.
No, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Who needs sleep?
You didn't sleep last night?
Well, so I was telling JD, one of the issues is the only time I can ever do anything I fucking want is after she falls asleep. That's when I can watch my shows that she don't want to watch. I can play my video games. I can work on my video projects. So I'm up until like 1 or 2 in the morning. I'm getting like 4 or 5 hours of sleep before I got to go to work. I was telling JD it's been getting so bad that like when I'm sitting in traffic on my way home, I can feel myself dozing off.
Oh my
A couple
gosh.
times I catch myself drifting into the other lane. I'm like, oh, whoops.
Do you drink coffee?
I'm not a big coffee person. So what I've been doing though is fucking naps. I've been doubling down on naps. So like right past the Caldecott Tunnel, there's this nice park, and I'll pull off, find a shady spot, take a nap for like 30 minutes, and then finish the drive home. But it was so bad Friday that like I fell asleep for an hour and a half in my car. I woke up, I was like, oh fuck, it's 7. So
Was she like, where are you, Phil?
I had to like race home because heaven forbid the fucking dishes aren't done and dinner's not ready.
You sound like you need to cut back on TV shows.
You sound like you need to drink coffee.
Right, that's what it is. Too much TV shows.
I'm trying to blame it on everything else.
I mean, wait. I get that, like, I get that you can't watch the things you want to watch when she's awake, but why can't you work on your video projects while she's awake? Because she could do something.
Because then it's all you do is play on that computer. That's all you do is and all this shit. I don't want to fucking hear it.
She understands that, like, that's another source of income for y'all, though, right?
You would think. You would think. You would think the fact that I've been doing freelance video projects since college, she'd be used to it by now. Yet she's always surprised and a little annoyed whenever I book a gig. I don't know.
Those
Go
nuts were
figure.
tasty.
Yeah, I had this whole other, like, I was going to bring up some stuff, but we need to tackle this a little bit more.
Oh, great. Now it's all eyes on goddamn Phil. I should
Yeah.
have just kept my mouth shut like
No,
always.
that-
This is why I don't talk on a fucking show, okay?
Oh yeah, you're talking.
Yeah, that's why, like, I want to keep you talking, so I'm just going to present other solutions. Help me out, guys.
All right, so what it sounds like what's needed is
Man
like,
cave.
Yeah, I was going to say separate office space, but yeah, man cave.
Or
Man cave.
here's a trick: bring your computer with you to work.
Feel free to use my house for production means anytime.
You wanna
Literally any
wanna-
goddamn
You wanna have a
time.
mandate?
Batman cave.
I mean,
These are all good solutions.
these are all good solutions. Notice how all of them involve me being away from her.
That's gonna be the problem.
Hey, you can't get yelled at if your phone's off.
You can't get yelled at for overtime.
Airplane mode.
Overtime.
You'd be surprised. We got into an argument the other day because I asked her to scoot over so I could go to bed.
Yeah.
And she was just like, well, maybe if you went to bed at a reasonable hour, you wouldn't have to wake me up and ask me to scoot over all the goddamn time. Every night you ask me to scoot over. And I'm like, every night I need to go to sleep.
Reality TV show. Make some money off of this.
Exactly.
Yes, there you go. IOP Video produces its first reality TV show.
You ever?
My miserable life produced by IOP Video.
Yes.
Oh,
miserable? Holy yeah. That's. Have you ever?
Shoot,
he
man.
said the
I'll,
M word.
I'll shoot it. I'll help you edit. Oh my gosh.
Why is your fucking friend here, Phil? No, I'm just kidding. Always playing with that fucking camera. Get out of here! Like they kick him out. No, I'm kidding. It's so weird because I never get this from talking to your fiance. She's been nice to me.
So yeah, she has her moments.
Okay.
Sometimes she's fine.
Yeah.
Other times
So it's sometimes.
Yeah, she's
fucking
always
crazy.
been. I'll go on record. Teresa has been nice to me 100% of the time.
supposed to say
Sorry,
names.
my bad. Didn't we have her on the show before?
You know.
Oh,
She
I
was
was
in the
gonna say, I
background
missed
and
that.
Evan kept talking to her while she was taking a nap on JD's bed.
yeah, we've heard her name on audio, right? At least once, no?
Yeah, she's been there, but like never came to the.
But I mean, we haven't referenced her on over the mic at all.
Yeah, but that's different.
Okay.
The way that energy,
Yeah.
you don't
I feel
connect
you.
the names.
Okay, all right. I feel you. Well, long-time listeners should know who she is. That's what I figured anyway.
I'm fucking with you.
Oh,
Look, all I'm saying is I'm starting to understand why men cheat, okay?
Just for the record, he said that, not me. He said that. That was Phil.
Maybe if I came home with some goddamn peace and quiet and a little love and affection once in a while, I would need to go get my jollies somewhere else with some floozy on 23rd, okay?
Are you wearing
Is this a
protection?
confession, Phil?
Are you wearing in this
I'm not Usher.
scenario?
I'm not doing confessions.
In this scenario, you would be wearing protection, of course.
Please uninstall YouTube from her phone and Spotify and everything else.
Weren't you listening? She doesn't listen to our show. This show could be the most listened to show on planet Earth, and she still wouldn't listen to it.
Yeah, definitely. We have Joe Rogan numbers, and she wouldn't listen, probably, huh?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
seriously
Here's
doubt
the
it.
thing. This is the thing that I say from experience. And obviously, I'm single.
Lucky man.
But I did have experiences where, like, I didn't reply to messages while at work. What the hell are you doing? I'm fucking working.
I'm not taking business calls during work.
Yeah, I'm not fucking, like, what do you mean? Like, you're not replying fast enough. I'm at work. I'll get fired.
There was one time.
I'm not complaining about women, though.
So there was one time years ago, I was at my buddy's house. We were watching All In, his fucking wrestling pay-per-view. My phone died. Had on the charger. Turned my phone on. Fucking barrage of text messages and voicemails from her. Where are you? Why aren't you answering your fucking phone? I've been calling you. Why are you sending me a voicemail? All this shit. Oh my God.
We're gonna have to get
I'm
some
texting.
perspective.
I text her back and I was like, my phone died. I'm at Efren's house watching All In, like I told you I was gonna be. And then she started accusing me of cheating. She was like, yeah, right. What's the bitch's name? What the fuck is the bitch's name? And I'm like, Efren. The bitch's name is Efren. You've been to his house before.
She sounds hideous. She sounds hideous.
No, really, it's the insurance guy.
Well, you objected twice.
Yeah, that shit's annoying when you don't answer your phone. I'm sorry. That's like the one thing where I'm like, you know that if your phone is gonna die, don't let that happen. You know what I mean? What?
In 2021.
What?
But you got to remember, we're some old dinosaurs around here, Natalie.
You see? That's why I'm single. No, I'm just no. You see the attitude?
I'm saving you. Yeah.
No, I just raised my hand like you raised your hand.
Oh.
See? You guys think you can interrupt us, but we can interrupt you when we... See?
Okay.
You got to use her magic against them.
She put her hand up first. So.
I did too.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So here's the beauty of finally having a goddamn woman's perspective on the fucking sausage party.
Hold on.
Sausage party.
A goddamn woman.
I am the goddamn woman. Thank you very much.
Am I overreacting? Am I crazy?
All I'm saying is the phone thing is really annoying because it's like, okay, men, like, you guys are like, oh, we're fine, we're indestructible. And then women over here were like mothers, and we're like, no, you could die at any time of the day. Like, don't let your phone die. You know what I mean? We like.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
like, oh my God, what's going on? You know what I mean?
Is he okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like, why the fuck isn't she answering her phone?
No, I'm just like.
Have you heard him the first like 20 minutes of this episode?
That's possible that he could be like that. Like, why the fuck isn't she answering her phone? Like, have you ever had moments where you were like...
I mean, if it was not normal for her, sure.
There are times where, like, she'll send me to the store to go pick up stuff. I'll take pictures of the shit that I think she wants me to get and send it to her. Be like, this one, right? Because I know if I get the wrong one, I'm going to get fucking yelled at when I get home. I'm going to be called stupid. I'm going to be sent back to the store to try again. And I'm just trying to save gas money. So when I do that and she don't text me back and it's like, bitch, I got ice cream in the cart. Well, you going to text me back, yes or no? Then I get a little irritated. But that's just because I'm trying to avoid an argument.
I see that.
Yeah.
I've realized being in a long-term relationship, it's just about avoiding arguments. I can understand why my grandpa just sits in silence and doesn't speak until spoken to.
Okay, I'll say this. And I've said this. You've heard me say this before. No, I'm not looking. You're over here looking.
I'm like, no.
The older I get, the less sad I feel for people who die single.
Because you're like, that guy led a full life. He got to do whatever he wanted.
No. Because being single isn't the worst thing in the world. Like
it's not. You can pay for sex.
Well, even without that, like the stresses that come from being in the wrong relationship. I'm not saying you are. Right. You guys, for the record, I'm not saying. For the record, I'm saying.
I wasn't this so isolated. Like, for the most part, we're hunky-dory and we're happy. It's just there's these fucking moments where I'm just like,
and she's cool as hell.
If I could afford the rent here.
But, okay, by the way, his fiance is a great person. She's
great.
She's amazing.
I love having conversations with her.
She's funny.
She doesn't listen to this, so this is great.
she definitely,
I'm not saying you guys. I'm just saying in my experience.
Right.
You know,
like I said,
she's
we've been together for like
me.
5 years. So at this point, it's just kind of like you come home.
But you lived together for how long?
We've been living together for 3 months. 4
See,
months.
that's the problem. Just move back out. Live separately again. You're not ready.
I can't afford this Bay Area rent.
I'm fucking with you. Move to Antioch.
I mean, if I could bring in like an extra $1,000 a month.
Yeah. So are you people listening, if you want to sponsor the voice party?
Our Patreon is, non-existent.
We don't have one.
Hopefully it's coming.
Yeah, well, once we're able to record every fucking week. Exactly.
Yeah.
So things are good other than that.
Yeah, other than just like constantly avoiding arguments like I'm fucking Neo in the Matrix. Things are great. When you're in a relationship, Natalie, are you the crazy one or is it the other person who's crazy?
No one's going to admit that they're crazy, Phil. No one knows they're crazy.
I'm not. Okay, I'm going to say that I'm not perfect.
Wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
But.
Wait, I was trying to be hurtful.
What What was your question?
When you're
such a
you're
guy.
obviously an attractive woman. You've been in probably dozens of relationships. Are you the crazy one, or is it the other person who's the crazy one?
I'm just gonna say if I happen to be the crazy one, it's because somebody made me the crazy one.
That sounds like the crazy person talking.
Takes two to tango, bro.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Your Honor, they let me murder them.
No self-defense, Your Honor. No self-defense.
They let me murder.
It's not my fault that they didn't defend themselves, Your Honor.
That was your answer.
Yeah.
But I think okay. Obviously, I know you're crazy too. Look at this.
So
shit.
here's the thing.
Look at this fucking
We're
episode.
all crazy.
You think you're gonna just take your word that there's nothing coming out of you?
Look, I've known all of you for quite a while. You not as much as them, but still glad to have you. But we've all done some crazy shit in our lives that's relationship related, right?
Right.
Like JD, I know you've had your moments of psychoticism.
But many.
I mean, you've been with some crazy fucking people.
I've been with some crazy, yeah.
You know,
What?
I'm crazy. I've been with crazy people. There's a lot of crazy to go around.
I think everyone's crazy.
I think everyone's crazy.
Except me, I'm perfect.
Yeah, except for her.
All right, so story time.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Back when I was in college, I was dating this girl, right? And it was a very unhealthy relationship. We started dating when we were like 16, 17. And from like 17 to 21, there's like a radical change there as you're growing up and finding out who you are and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so we kept trying to like change the other person into the person we wanted to be with because we didn't want to leave. We just thought, fuck it, I can change this person. How hard could it be? So we're just arguing all the fucking time, just having shouting matches on the cell phone. And I remember at one point we were shouting back and forth, we're mad at each other, and I hung up on her. Turned my phone off, went and hung out with a buddy of mine, killed 2 hours, came back home, turned my phone on. She called me one more time. I let it ring 3 times, and then I picked up. And she was calm, cool, collected. We got to talk like people. She got all that out of her system. And I was like, yes, I figured out you're crazy. Life hack. And that's how every time we had an argument, that's what happened. And we were able to talk that shit out like adults. Spoilers, it didn't fucking work out. So I was dating this other chick. It was a long distance deal because she lived in Vegas at the time, right? And I remember we were having an argument, and I was like, I'm gonna try my trick, and I fucking hung up on her, and she didn't call back, and I was like, uh-oh. And that's when I learned all women are crazy, but no two women are the same crazy.
Okay.
Would you agree with that? I think that's true for all people in general, dude.
Yeah.
Because there's some people. Okay, there can be a girl. Okay, well, all right. I'm speaking from a guy's perspective. There can be a woman that's crazy, where like, I don't mean to call her crazy, but like, oh, you're not calling me back. Oh, you're doing this wrong, and like it's about you. Or there can be women that are so loving and they love you, but on the side they're cheating on you, and that's the same for guys too. There's guys like that too.
What? Yeah, that. But okay, so since we're actually talking about this,
this is the third time to do that.
We were wondering what we were gonna fucking talk about. I guess we're just gonna talk about bad
since
relationships.
we're actually talking about this, I want you guys to define crazy because I feel like all three of you might have a different idea of what crazy is, and it matters.
I would say some would even argue that getting used to deliberately hanging up on your partner and then waiting on it just to have a normal conversation could be crazy within itself. Not the person, but just the fact that like the actions of that seemed like rather abnormal, you know?
Yeah. But like,
I think we chose our topic, is what you're saying, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, we're 30 minutes in. It's fucking crazy.
We're committed.
It's relationships suck at this point.
We're knees deep right now.
Oh, jeez.
That's the title of this episode.
Speaking of knees,
relationships suck at this point.
What would you consider crazy? Because I think there's more crazy dudes than women, though.
I agree.
If you see the shit that if you're single long enough, you will see the crazy, and mostly from men.
I've been guilty of being.
And you know, I'll say this: the women that are crazy are very man-like in a lot of ways.
What?
So I'll say I'm
Obsessive. Like
I've had moments of being the crazy one where I look back and I was like, ooh, fuck. Like there was one time, I don't remember who I was with.
Can I say something though?
Go ahead.
Because this is the difference between the crazy you describe with what you're having and guy crazy is that what you just mentioned, and then guy crazy. I'm gonna follow her. I'm gonna go follow her. I'm gonna like message her every night. I've never met her.
Well,
that's a different kind of crazy.
Okay.
But like a crazy that can be in a relationship that can also be that.
So two times I've been unhealthily crazy.
Okay.
Right. There's one.
that's it.
Well, these are the two that stand out in my mind.
You mean 2 times this episode?
But going back to like what you were saying about people not answering their phone, I think it was with the chick from college, but we were arguing, and then like she stopped answering. For whatever reason, I couldn't get a hold of her. She wasn't picking up her phone. And I remember at one point, I just sent her a text, and I was like, "Whose dick are you sucking that you can't answer the phone right now?" And it turns out she was at a fucking funeral. Oh. So it's like,
oh, you're at a funeral? Whose dick are you sucking?
You know,
that's okay.
You were sucking the dick of the corpse? Question mark.
So that's the time where I'm like,
examine our
right,
relationship.
That was pretty out of line. That's pretty crazy. But then I think the worst time was it might have been the same fucking girl. Holy shit, I'm fucking psychoanalyzing myself here. But we were having an argument, and then
wonder why it didn't work out.
But like we were having an argument, and she was gonna go hang out with some people that I didn't want her hanging out with. Because again, trying to like change people. This. And so like I was able to find the zip code of where her friend lived, and I just drove around that neighborhood looking for her car so I could finish the argument in person.
Nothing unhealthy or abnormal about that at all.
No, totally normal.
I don't remember that specific detail.
In my defense, I was like 19, 20. So, I mean...
Yeah.
I think we need to hear the other side of this story. We're going to book Teresa.
No, this was somebody else.
Yeah.
This was a different
No. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you.
I think it might just be two crazy people living together.
I mean, I could... Hey, you want me to book the girl? I can book the girl.
I can't be the only one who's driven past people's houses like, what the fuck is that bitch doing here? And just like jump to the natural conclusion, oh, they must be cheating. They're not picking up their phone.
You're definitely not the only one.
Why else would they not answer?
You're not the only one.
There's an entire show based on this premise. It was called Cheaters.
You're the only one walking around without medication, maybe.
Damn.
No, but you are the first person that I've ever met that actually went driving around in the general zip code just to find her.
Yeah, that's.
Zip codes are a big ass swap of land, my friend.
I've done
car or no car. Like
I've done some crazy shit, like waiting. When like you know you're not home. Why aren't you home? I'm knocking on the door, calling the house number. You gotta be fucking psycho to know a house number. You know what I'm saying? The house number, and then the wrong person answers. Hang up. Call again.
Oh my goodness.
Waiting, like looking, knowing which window is their room. Why is the light off? Yeah, I've been there. That's when you're obsessed, though. Like, you know, over this person, and there's fucking drama happening.
And this is why I haven't dated since my last relationship.
Oh, I wasn't dating.
Smart.
Yeah, that is smart. Yeah, that is smart. So stay single is the fucking theme of this show.
A single person is a happy person.
Would you agree? How long?
Yes.
How long have you been single?
Since like, I don't know. I don't even know, really. I haven't really thought about it, but...
Like a reborn, like a born-again Christian?
It's like, I just never looked back, so... Yeah.
Sheesh.
I can't even say that a single person is inherently more happy than a person who's in a relationship. I think that it depends on the kind of relationship they're in and how secure the person is with themselves if they're not in one.
It's the stress levels. If they were stressed...
My grandparents, like, oh my gosh. When I talk to people about... for those that don't know, I lost my grandfather recently. When I talk to people that knew them, because I've done a lot of calling to let folks know, like, hey, Grandpa's passed. And the reason Grandma's not doing this is because she's got dementia. But I call a lot of folks, hey, Grandpa's gone. His friends and, the people that called to check on him, members of his church. And I get the same thing from people that knew them best. Oh my gosh, they were such a lovely couple. They just loved each other so much. Like, there's one lady who's a member of their church that, actually, I was sitting with my daughter, and my daughter nudged me and said, look at that. Don't they look so beautiful? Look, they're holding hands. Don't they just love each other? And a lot of people have said that. And, like, I can attest that at home, the same energy was there. Like, even though my grandmother mentally is, like, gone, and like she's suffering from the dementia, if she was throwing a fit or something, my first reaction would be like, all right, let's take her back to the room so she can lay down, back to her room. Grandpa sit there and be like, reach out, grab her by the hand. It's okay, sweetheart. Just calm down, Catherine. It's all right. It's all right, dear. We're right here. Just calm down. And I'm like, okay, if that isn't love, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? And if she wasn't going through the dementia, I know for a fact that she would have been really anxious and worried about him because of the way he physically got down this year. But these are two people that legitimately cared about each other, respect. Like my grandmother, she was a preschool teacher. He was a not a biochemist. He was a microbiologist. They respected each other's work ethic. They respected each other's dreams and goals. They worked together to build a family and a household. And at the end of all of that, with my grandmother being 87 and him being 92, they lived a wonderful and beautiful life together. And I want that for myself. You know what I mean? Like, am I fine single? Sure. I'm okay. There are pluses though, in a sense that, like, for example, when my great grandmother wasn't doing too well and she was staying with us, my grandmother and grandfather, while I'm out working, they took care of her as a team. When my mother was down, they took care of her as a team. And I wish that I had like somebody with me, so somebody that I love and trusted, and I could take care of my grandmother as a team. But it's just me, so I'm just kind of like, there are definitely negatives to being single. There are definitely,
like
what? Well, like I just listed, I wish I had some help. But I mean, that sounds kind of selfish, I know, but having someone else to kind of like, you can bounce off each other and all that, like, it's different. And, but I think the key to it is not just to have somebody, because I feel like a lot of people are like, I just want to have somebody. And to cycle back to what JD was talking about, how he didn't feel sad for folks who die single, because it's not the worst thing. I'll add on to that and I'll say maybe these people are single because they knew that they just couldn't find their other half, and they would rather be. They would not, because they couldn't find somebody that was willing to be with them, because there are plenty of people, from what I could see, where folks are willing to be with you, but are they the best fit?
What I meant by what I said is, it's better to be single and die alone single than to be in a miserable ass relationship where like you're constantly fucking in agony for whatever, or they change your life or you change your life for them and it's not going well. And I'm not saying that's the case you got going on, but I'm just saying, like, it's like I have family members who are single and they're older, and it's sad. I used to think of it as sad, but it's not the saddest thing. There's
it's funny you say that, because at this age, like, I have friends in their like mid to late 30s and they're single still, and like they're fine because they have all the free time and all the control over what they do and everything. But then some of them will be like, but I kind of wish I had kids by now, because when I grow old, like, there's no one who's gonna be there, So that's like the single only thing where I'm like, oh my god, I'm not interested in any of that, but at the same time, I'm like, at some point, I don't want to be that person,
Yeah, no, definitely. You want, for a lot of folks, including myself, it's like, I want to leave this legacy behind for somebody. Mm-hmm. And I've seen what it's like for someone to, live to be 92 years old. And I think back and I go, wow, it really would have sucked for Grandpa if he didn't have somebody here that cared about him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only reason that he had somebody that cared about him that could help him is because he had kids. Yeah. Well, he had a kid. He had my mom. And then my mom had me. You know what I mean? And that was just how it worked. So, there's just something special about having family.
Yeah.
And that can continue on in your stead. That's probably the one downside to being. Yeah. And for me, being the only child, I feel like there's this pressure. It's like, dang, I need to make more. I need to make more Burlesons and Lascanos and continue the family line on down. Because I'm real talk. I'm like the last one. Like, especially on my father's side, like my father was an only child. Like, you know what I mean? I'm it.
I'm the only child in my family overall. Well, closer family. So I kind of feel the same way too, where I'm like, oh, I need to. It's not just gonna stop here,
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna settle for just anybody either. You know what I mean? That's the other crux of the coin. It's sort of like, well, if the person isn't good fit, if they don't light my world and all that sort of stuff, you gotta have that. You're just excited to see them and enjoy talking to them.
Especially because when you just kind of jump into anything, unless you get married, you're gonna break up, and that hurt. That's hard to go through. It's ugh, I don't know if I want to go through another broken thing all over again. But.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I was just having fond memories of back when I was single.
You get the feeling that some folks get together and they're just kind of like, well, you've been around, I've been around, why not? You know what I mean? Why not? But I'm like, I want somebody that brings out that sparkle,
Yeah.
No why nots for me, damn it. It's why nots or die alone.
Have you online dated?
No, I've never done the online dating thing. I kind of feel like, the old-fashioned way is best, where you meet somebody, you get to know them in person. With online dating, there's catfishing involved.
Hell yeah,
you could run
smart.
into crazy psychos. What if I'm talking to somebody that I think is this really pretty lady, and they have the same taste in music as me, and the same. All right, let's link up, and then it turns out it's a dude.
Yeah. That's your worst case. Yeah. I always feel stupid. So I downloaded Tinder, and then when I realized that you have to actually put your interests on there in order to match with people and stuff, I was like, ugh, I don't, because first of all, your first impression, just in real life, is how, if they're how attractive they are to you. And then it just felt weird, because I'm like, ugh, I have to think you're cute first, and then I have to, you know what I mean? It's a weird, I don't know. So I never actually completed that whole thing, but I'm like you, where I'm like, let's just do it in person,
Yeah.
And then it feels bad to sit there and think that you just spent the last 20 minutes looking at faces, It's weird. I don't know.
Swipe, 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 swipe. Oh my goodness, exhausting.
Yeah, it's I could have took a nap instead.
And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of wonderful success stories that come from that, but I've never heard. And maybe it's because it's still relatively new, right? But I've never heard a story that started off a really great marriage relationship story that started off, well, we met on Tinder, or we met on Bumblebee or Bumble or whatever. It's usually I ran into her at the park. We were both walking dogs. And she had a Dalmatian, I had a Golden Retriever, and it was love at first sniff. You know what I mean? The dogs, not us. Or I met her in this gaming tournament that I was going to, and she picked Ryu and I picked Ken, and oh man.
Yeah, you like real stories.
Yeah, So I mean,
I feel like the older you get, the harder it is to date. Because when you're in a kid, when you're in high school and college, and you meet an attractive, interesting single person, you're like, hot damn, I hit the jackpot. But when you're in your 30s and up, and you meet an interesting, attractive single person, you're like, wait a minute, hold on, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
There's got to be something wrong with you for you to be available.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know, but
You're not there yet. That's
Yeah.
okay.
You'll get there. It's easier for women to date than it is for dudes to date. Women just
Why
got
do
to
you
sit
say
there.
that?
Women just got to sit there and look pretty. The dudes got to do all the work. We got to muster up the courage. We got to talk to you. We got to make sure we're either attractive or have a good job, one or the other.
And like, you know, from my experience, a lot of women don't. Well, there are plenty of women that don't like to invest. And what I mean by that is it's like, okay, like this guy may not have the big job now, but he's working up to it. He has a lot of potential. He's funny. He's smart. All the character qualities. You know, be like, well, with some time, we'll get there. It was like, no, you're not balling enough for me. What do you mean? You're just the mail clerk, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there are women who like to invest from the ground up, where it's like, you know, I know a woman who's like living in Section 8, and she'll like snatch a dude who's, you know, it's like, oh, I got kicked out. My ex kicked me out. I've got nowhere else to go. Come move in with me after only knowing you for a month. And, you know, it's like you have that happens a lot in the hood. Apparently, you have all these dudes that, you know, wintertime comes and they like that heat. They're hooking up with those ladies in Section 8. So it's like.
See, a wise man once said, Holla, we won't prenup. We won't prenup. Okay?
You're engaged, right?
Yeah, that's why I got to be careful.
Eavesdrop
Because when the
feet-
judge says alimony, he really means all the money.
All the money, yeah.
I mean, you know, he said fiance like at least twice. So this episode.
I know that was a rhetorical question.
The one
but thanks for paying attention, fucker.
the one
No,
piece,
sorry, go ahead.
the one piece of advice that I like really hold dear to my heart
Let's hold on to those walnuts.
about being single, is to not fall in love with potential. And I don't know. So you said something earlier about like, oh, like maybe he'll do this, or like maybe this will happen and stuff. And I was, I just ran into that piece of advice, and I'm like, that's perfect, because a lot of the times, like, you will, you know, you'd be like, well, maybe he'll do this, or like maybe this will happen, and then you just spend forever waiting for that. You know?
Yeah, that's when someone told me is one of my friends, he's divorced, which is good advice. Don't like who you meet, and not just for relationship partners, friends, family, like people in your life, or you yourself. Are you gonna be like this? There's a very big possibility you're gonna be the same person until you die. So like analyze that, or with the people who you have, and if you can live with that, good. Like who they are now, like
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't talking about character traits. I was talking about like a job.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
That's the thing is,
yeah.
like when you're like a kid, when you're like 16, you're obviously going to be very different than when you're like in your 30s. But by the time you're like 35, that's pretty much who you're going to be.
25 is most likely like that's
No.
25 is good for most people. Like
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're the same person you were at 25?
no. Not in a good way though.
Well, see, that's the thing is like, yeah, I've been ranting and raving about like the bad parts
Yeah, let's
of
talk
my
about the good
relationship, but like there has been good stuff, and I've noticed that like
You said the way you say it sounds like it's rare.
because I got the hat, I'm fucking excavating. Oh
What was
my
that
God,
one
I'm
time she
pooping.
smiled at me? It was great.
Take the hat off.
I'm not taking the hat off.
Just take it
I'm not
off.
taking
It's
the hat
hot in here, Bill.
It's okay. The hat it's got mesh on this side.
Okay.
But like I've noticed that like over the 5 years that I've been
Old
with my
dude.
fiance, like I have kind of grown and matured and changed, and I look at things differently now than I did 5 years ago. I didn't really think that would have been possible, you know. So that's a thing.
It's love.
Or you know, I co-signed her car loan. One of the two.
Okay.
I don't like the bald thing though. The bald thing. Like
Yeah.
Oh, that's for real?
Yeah, she doesn't like me. Did
you think it was a
I
joke?
look like a racist.
I thought it was a joke.
She thinks I look like a racist, and I'm like, no, I look like Bill Goldberg. I look like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Did you
What are
have hair when you were dating?
No, well, so
I mean, like when you met?
we knew
Yes.
each other in high school, but we didn't start dating until like 5 years ago. And back in high school, I had the long ponytail. I was fucking sexy, right? But she was with somebody.
You're
I
still
was with
sexy in my
somebody.
eyes.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, but she was with somebody. I was with somebody. And then when we got together is when we stopped seeing each other for a while because she moved to Virginia, moved back over here. I had started shaving my head by then. So for the past 5 years, she's seen me as bald, which great fucking maintenance. I save so much money on shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah.
and you got a good bald
And
head.
haircuts, because
Yeah.
you could do it at home.
Yeah, but now
You
she's
got a good bald head. You don't
Yeah.
have scars. Your head shape is nice.
Oh, why? Thank you.
No, really
Is
though.
it like
really
egg
though.
shape, potato shape?
There's some weird shapes out there.
Yeah.
There's some dudes that have bald heads.
Yeah.
And you can see their muscle line in their fucking head. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like Predator when he takes off his mask finally, and that thing like it looks like a crab.
Yes.
I've
Looks
seen
like a
that.
crab.
I've seen dudes like that where their heads like it looks like their mouth, the jaw's gonna rip off. Yeah, he has a good bald head.
Yeah, it's a very Patrick Stewart-esque kind of a, it's got some dignity to it.
So what is she?
You know,
What?
Charles Xavier over here just.
I mean, like, so you just gotta wear the hat 24/7?
No, I'm just wearing the hat because I don't like the way my hair looks on camera.
I like it.
Oh.
I like it when people have Chris John, for example. I like it. Just fucking be bald.
Yeah.
If you're bald, just be
Own
bald.
that shit, man.
Own that shit, man. Look at me. Look at my gut.
Okay.
We know about the guy.
Thug life over here.
Thug life. Fuck it. There is been.
That was sexy Phil back in the day.
You don't look any different.
Oh, let me see. Oh yeah, that's that. See, you look more racist there than you do now.
It's because I'm not wearing a shirt.
Plaid. It's the plaid.
It's the
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That was actually a random night. Me and my friends were driving down. I think it was.
You look like you're in medieval times.
It was
in
like
that
I don't know if it
picture.
was Crocan or Castro Ranch Road or whatever in El Sobrante.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just like fucking nothing there. It's like deserted. There's not even street lights. And we just like pulled over and had like an impromptu toga party on the side of the abandoned road in the middle of the nowhere. And that's where that picture was taken.
That looks like it's in medieval times. Like you're a knight on his day off.
a Scottish night.
See, I
baby.
was going for like that '90s grunge rocker look, but I'll take that too.
I recommend if you're fucking single though, use it wisely. Like, you know,
Soak in the silence. Watch all your favorite shows.
Enjoy
Play
that
all
shit.
your video
Starfish
games.
in bed.
Enjoy not coming
Yes.
home to an argument.
get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Get to know yourself.
Ooh, that was That's what you can't. I think I learned that you really. It's almost impossible, I feel like, to really know yourself without someone else, because even like some decisions that you want to make for yourself, it's not always about you, and
That's
and somebody who maybe has support all the time might say different, but not everyone is really supportive, so then that's like a roadblock.
Yeah, like when I hear that couples like, oh, I'm gonna work while she goes to school, and then after that, then like, that's great, that's supportive, but that's
I think
I've heard this. I'm gonna put off schools to help her get through school, and then after that, she's gonna help me. I'm like,
Is she though?
I always get it like.
What always worries me is when people do things to try and save a relationship where they're like, oh, we're going to get married. That'll fix things if we get married. We'll have a kid. That'll fix things if we have a kid. And it's like, if it's not working now, doing those things aren't going to fix it.
There's
It's just
nothing that's gonna
come.
save it if it's not just you two doing something.
Yeah, you have to
Exactly.
get like
And that's what I said about falling in love with potential.
yeah.
And then
exactly.
also, like, the thing that I know happens with a lot of relationships where they start failing is you meet, let's say, I meet someone and I'm this way now because of all the things I do, and she's that way because of all the we're all individual, we have our own, and then once you kind of get in a relationship, you're just like one person, and you kill off everything that made you. You stop fucking doing whatever hobbies you have. They stop doing, hanging out with other friends. I think it's important to have your own friends. Very important. And I mean, like hang out with your guy friends still. Like if you and I are fucking, I'm not dating, but like if you and I are friends and I have a girlfriend and all of a sudden you don't see me anymore, that's going to be a problem. Especially if we have like a weekly thing. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, like once your individuality is killed, then I think that's going to be a death sentence for the relationship.
Or
Speaking from experience.
Or like I have a couple of good friends of mine who are a couple, right?
That's great. Yeah.
Like Mark and Emily. They like Emily, like I'll talk to Emily about like when I was dating someone, or like my friends that date people and go, yeah, well, you know, and Emily will go, oh, well, this is one thing she said to me. She can't imagine dating or being any, because she's married, she can't imagine being with anyone that doesn't share the same interests. Like, the group of friends that Mark and Emily have, like, it's rare, I'll admit, but like, essentially, we're the same group of people. It's the games group. Like, we all, like, Mark doesn't have a separate crew and she doesn't have a separate, because we're all into like the same nerdy shit.
That's best case scenario.
You know?
Yeah.
But like, what I would
and I'm
say
not
is,
saying that'll work for everybody, but I'm saying like
yeah.
it works for them, and that's actually pretty
so
awesome.
That's the best case scenario.
My thought on that, so this is speaking from experience, having shared interests is important, but I think it's also important to have like different interests, because then I'm going to try your things, you're going to try my things, and then in theory we both broaden our horizons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you do have to have some stuff in common, and I think what's most important is at its core you guys have to be like aligned, like morally.
Yeah.
Like a Christian and an atheist probably ain't gonna work, but two crackheads could stay together forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
And
real.
that's what I miss about having a girlfriend. The coming home shit, when it's good, and
You can come anywhere. I just said you can pay for sex.
No, I mean, like, coming home and having someone to share exciting news with is something I miss.
And when the day sucks ass,
Yeah, someone
and
to
you
rub your
want
head.
to cry, and you want, and you're like,
yeah, like.
And I don't know about you guys, but having friends is like great, and I have a lot of them, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? I feel like
You can't vent with them like you could with a partner. Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
That's, I mean, I don't know if you guys feel that way about friends versus partners, but I feel like I'm more of a burden on friends than I would be with a partner, because
It depends it depends on what I'm venting for.
yeah.
I need someone to vent about my girlfriend too.
I just mean like things during the day, not not people.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
Well,
work sucks.
see, that's weird to me, kind of, because I feel like I can vent. I guess I've been single for so long. I could vent.
Well,
too.
that's why, like, if you're in a long-term relationship, I think it's important to have like a girl's day, a guy's day, where you
For
guys
sure.
just spend time away from each other with your friends.
And someone you trust.
Preferably, the longer, the better. The more time apart you can spend, the better.
And someone that trusts you, because we always say someone I can trust, but someone that trusts you, that's important. Like, to you yourself being able to trust someone is a whole different thing than you being trusted.
Yeah, you can't. If someone is constantly accusing you of cheating, that's probably not going to work out.
But why are they accusing you of cheating?
That's true. Yeah. Why? That's what I
have this friend named Carlos. You know Carlos. He used to date this chick. Let's just call her Mary.
Okay.
Right? One time he was eating a peach before he picked her up. He had some peach juice in his beard. She accused him of cheating. She thought it was like woman juice all over his face. And he has to convince her that he was eating a peach. And she's like, nobody just eats peaches like that, Carlos. What the fuck is the bitch's name? Turned into this big whole argument.
Okay.
That is a true story.
Sounds like one lucky
actually
peach.
happened.
Okay, she's insane.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys think that's funny?
I think it's funny.
JD's like, oh, I'm not the only one, evidently.
it brings back memories.
That's ridiculous.
JD's like, this is why I don't eat fruit.
Exactly. Yes. So they start making fucking bacon.
Well, apples aren't that juicy. You'll be
Bacon,
okay.
bacon or carne asada lipstick.
Lip gloss, yeah.
Lip gloss, yeah. So what the theme is stay single. That's basically the theme of today's episode, right?
Relationships suck. A single person is a happy person. I don't think you agree, Nattles.
Nettles.
You
like
sign
it.
over there.
Nettles.
You just,
I'm just like, I don't know, because
have you ever been in like a healthy, productive relationship?
no. It's like a double-edged sword, because it's like great being single
They
for
make
the
lots of double-edged things.
for the obvious reasons, like starfishing in bed and making my own decisions and doing whatever I want, talking to whoever I want. But then, like I said, when work sucks and people want to argue with me about koi fish, I'm like, I just want to cry in someone's arms right now, and I can't. I just feel like I can't do that with
There's a
friends.
thing for all those things, though.
It's called a body pillow.
Body pillow, not living together.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like you could do all that shit without a fucking
Like what? What are you talking about?
Like, you know, you can find like a buddy to fucking talk to, where you can get really close to and talk. I feel comfortable enough to tell you everything about my day at this point.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's.
Well, I don't feel. Didn't we cry together
Yes.
today? We hugged each other.
Yes.
You don't need a boyfriend.
No, I never said I needed one.
And
I was
honestly,
just
like if your friends,
I think
if your friends get irritated with you because you need to bare your soul at them sometimes, then you need better friends.
no, it's definitely me. It is.
Or you need to be a better friend.
Oh, okay. Is that what we're... No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No,
But
I mean, like getting
Yeah.
very, not intimate, but like with some of your friends that
Yeah.
like I feel at this point, like I have friendships where I the stuff that I used to, you know, like I was just mentioning, sharing exciting news with a girlfriend. I kind of have that now with friends where like, you know, if I have some dope shit, I'll call one of these guys or my other like longtime friends.
Yeah.
And
but the I keep dropping my phone. But the great thing about like the little things that kind of suck about being single is that like they're so temporary, you know? Like you just have your moment of like, damn, I'm hella lonely right now. But then like it's gone. And then, you know.
I read somewhere that when you're lonely and I think I mentioned this before, when you're having moments of loneliness, that's when you kind of find like the worst case scenario partner
Yeah.
to hook up with, because they're going to tell you everything you want to hear for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess when I say lonely, I don't mean like I need company or whatever, because I have that, but it's more of like
Internally.
it's more of like the things you would only do with your partner.
Yeah.
Like the sweet things or whatever. You know what I mean? Like anything that falls into that category.
The
You're not just gonna
romantica. Yeah, no,
you're
I
not
get
just
it.
gonna grab your buddy and be, I mean you could, but I don't.
Holding hands,
Yeah.
cuddling,
Yeah.
We do,
whispering
Just
sweet.
remember,
we do all that.
Hey, I'm warning you. A shoulder to cry on becomes a dick to ride on. Okay.
Hey. Yeah.
That's why it's called the friend zone. It's meant to protect from that.
But I think, as far as healthy relationships go, they take time.
Speak for yourself.
Very few relationships just work from the jump.
Yeah.
Like I've been with, my fiance for 5 years now, and we're just now getting to like a healthy place. Like aside from the rant at the beginning of the fucking episode, like this is probably the healthiest our relationship has ever been.
Yeah.
Where we're not like screaming at each other every day
and it's
accusing each
and it's
other of
normal to
cheating
have
and-
fucking
yeah.
fights.
Yeah, it's normal to get mad that I ask you to scoot over so I can go to bed too. But like it takes time. It takes work. People are different. People have quirks. People have idiosyncrasies.
This is the same fucking person from earlier.
Oh my God.
Well, once I got all
grown.
that out of my system.
We went full circle.
You can't just expect a relationship to work and then like 6 weeks in be like, I'm bored of this shit. Like,
You know what I've been thinking about a lot too is like food preferences. This is like a very like on the surface but not really subject about like the
Yeah.
person that you're with, because you know how I'm plant-based, right? If you don't know, now you know. But like in my head I'm like, could it really work with someone who like doesn't like that, you know? And
You're crazy.
it's so silly, but at the same time it's like
yeah.
I mean,
real concern.
it
had
works if you're not living. It will work if you're not living together. That sounds strange, but like if it's someone you're just dating, then you can go out in restaurants. You can get the veggie option. You
Yeah.
can get the steak. But if you're gonna move in together and have the kiddos, then you have to have conversations like, well, if one of us is going to cook dinner, then it should be of course it's going to be enough for the both of you. And economically speaking, it just makes sense to make one crock pot of something
Yeah.
versus like him prepare the steak and potatoes for himself and the vegetable dish for you.
Yeah.
And then if you have kids, then you have a whole nother discussion of, well, are we going to raise them vegetarian or are we going to raise
yeah.
them my way?
The positive part of my preference isn't that I hate like meat, or like I don't have a strong feeling about like, oh my God, if you eat meat, like you're terrible. It's kind of just like, okay, we're not gonna cook tonight. We're gonna go out. Where are we going? That kind of thing. Because that's already an issue. Like, this is more of like a humorous problem. But
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. I've have experience with people with like weird food preferences, And when we go to a restaurant, it's I mean, and I respect their preference, but it's just like, ugh, we're gonna go eat, and then it's like.
And mostly, I just feel like the asshole because I'm like,
yeah, no.
you know,
yeah.
But I mean, more and more menus are popping off with vegetarian-only options. So.
Yeah, and if it's something you can look past, if it's something that they can't look past, then that's something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is like I was working at McDonald's and years ago, and this family ordered just cheeseburgers without the meat. You know what I mean? And it was like, oh, okay, and then like some salads,
grilled cheese sandwich,
and then right, but that's not what they asked for. Because they don't have grilled cheese sandwiches on the menu. But okay, great, here you go. And then they came back and they're like, we're sorry, but there's like in one of the sandwiches, it was very clear that the person doing the order had put a meat patty on there first and took it off. And like there was a teeny tiny piece of evidence, I guess, just a tiny little morsel that you could barely see. And they're like, what we're concerned about is our kids have never had meat before. So, and we're trying to raise them to be vegetarian. So if they taste the juices from the beef that's been there, then that's going to taint them. So could you? Yeah, sure. And I was like, just God damn it. But I get it. You know, those are their kids, their concerns.
yeah.
You know.
So the theme, we've been at an hour now, right?
We just hit an hour.
Basically.
Damn, I could go on and on about this too.
Apparently, we all can just rant and rave about shitty relationships.
Yeah. But do you guys have any closing statements?
Holla, we won't prenup.
Get prenup. If you have to get prenup, you probably shouldn't be fucking marrying this person.
All I'm saying is, when the judge says alimony, he really means
all the money.
Yeah, well.
And divorce is hell of more expensive, I think. Wait.
I want to get married to have a dope wedding. Fuck, we could split up right after that.
Why don't you just have a party, JD?
Because the wedding is kind of more of
a voice party.
A voice party wedding with the fucking backdrop in the background on the ceremony.
Yep. Your bride can wear green because I mean it's 2021 and you're in the 30s. I doubt she'll be a virgin anyway.
I hope not.
Because you know you wear white because you're a virgin, and then it's off white.
Yeah.
I hope she isn't.
It's funny because it's the same way for like quinces. You know, you wear white when you have your quince, and I was like red.
Oh shit.
That was fun.
Sounds like there's a story there. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for listening.
We should do a part 2 about this.
We will.
I just started getting warmed up here.
I know.
Like literally, like physically and mentally. Like I want to talk about this.
You should have been here when we had that one couple on. Like literally the only reason that we had them on is because they were a functional couple. We wanted to talk about that.
A unicorn.
I remember that episode.
A unicorn.
If it's the one
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Phil, you got any closing statements?
Look, everyone wants that Corey and Topanga love. You may have to just settle for being Joey from Friends. You're the one who doesn't end up with anybody, but that's okay because you're the one who gets a spinoff.
That's been the voice party.
And we're out.
I'm sweating.